Hey guys, this is Eric Mobley. So I have another mental health video for you today. It's been a little bit since I've had a video like this. And I'm here mainly with a medication update. I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was 30. So that was about 2 years ago. In April, it will be 2 years. And what led me to look into being diagnosed, which it seems like a lot of people are being diagnosed lately, but was my sister was diagnosed like 6 months before I was, and she had explained some things that she did or things that were happening that I thought I also did. So, like, some examples of things in my life, I would easily get off track or off focus whenever it would whenever I'd be working. I work from home, so it's very easy to just stop what I'm doing and look at my phone. I know I should not do that, but it's just, I really had a hard time with that. And also just I had a hard time with talking to people and understanding and comprehending what they were saying sometimes. I know I would kind of wander off and not be into the conversation, even if I really liked the person, loved the person. I just really had a hard time with that. So just that's just a couple of examples. I go more into it in my previous video, which I'll try to put in the description below. But and I'll also put my mental health description or my mental health playlist below, because I have other medication type videos. So once I had interest in being diagnosed, I did ask for recommendations on a psychiatrist and, or I believe psychologists also diagnose. But I was recommended a psychiatrist from my therapist, actually, and I contacted him. It was a psychiatric nurse practitioner, and I went to see him, and I explained, different things that I had going on, and why I thought I had ADHD, and that I was maybe interested in medication because, it could improve my workday and my everyday life. I also was just a very sleepy person all the time. I feel like I'm still kind of a tired person. However, I'm not as tired as I was. That's kind of a side note that I'll bring up later. But so he sent me home a little packet for me to fill out, for my husband to fill out, based on quirks and things that I did and in everyday life. And then we had to pay some kind of fee, and it was not cheap. It was like $200 to take this test, and it wasn't covered by insurance. He did say to bypass that, I could look into going to a psychologist. And I don't know what that would entail. I don't know if that would be the same thing and insurance would cover it. I'm not really sure. But I just used my husband's HSA. We talked about it, and I was like, this is really important to me. So therefore, I took the test. I was able to take it at home, which was kind of cool. But 2 weeks later, I went to go see the psychiatric nurse practitioner again, and the results came back that I was indicative of ADHD, or essentially diagnosed with ADHD. So from there, he prescribed 5 milligrams of Adderall twice a day, so 10 milligrams of Adderall per day. And I increased it over time, every 4 weeks to 8 weeks, I think I would increase it. And we eventually got to the highest of the immediate release, which was 20 milligrams twice a day. And that was really working for me. I could tell a difference. I was more productive. I am able to, get things done around the house without getting distracted, get my work done and be really focused on work. I don't dread certain things. I'm not as impulsive, that sort of thing. I could just tell that it was working on my brain. So that therefore I wanted to keep taking it. So I was on it for like a year and a half ish, I guess. And um, then my PCP, my general practitioner, was able to take over my prescription because with the insurance thing, it was getting a little like annoying to have an appointment with my psychiatric nurse practitioner to get a prescription every month for it and having to pay a copay. It was like a whole thing. So I did explain that to my PCP, and he was able to take over the prescription. I was already taking it. I was already taking the Adderall, so I didn't need like proof or anything like that because it had already been prescribed. Obviously, he knew I had ADHD. I like was a little confused or like weary on that. I was like, is this okay? But it was obviously okay. So from there, he took over the prescription, and I kept taking it. I was on the twice a day. I eventually went up to 20 milligrams twice a day of the immediate release, and I noticed that like in the middle of the day around lunchtime, again, I work from home, I would just want to crash. Like I would be so tired, and I would want to take a nap, which I've kind of been a napper like in my adult life. Like I just appreciate a good like 30 to 45, sometimes an hour long nap just to kind of like recharge. I would really try to take like shorter naps, but it wouldn't really work out. Um, so after so long of doing that, and now my husband works from home 2 days a week. So we have a small house, so he has a desk in our bedroom. So then I kind of lost my space to take a nap, so I had to like try to sleep on the couch, and it was just a whole thing. I didn't really like that. So I was like, well, I wonder if I kind of explained it to a friend, and he said, well, that's why I switched to extended release of the Adderall. And I was like, oh, like, he was like, I'm usually pretty good until about 5 o'clock. So I was like, let me give this a try. So I brought it up to my doctor to switch to the extended release. But I did make sure to tell him, like, in the middle of the day, I would get really tired and crash and just be like, very blah, until I maybe took the second pill. But sometimes I didn't even take the second pill. Um, however, he was like, well, we can give you a booster dose for when like you get off work or whatever, just to kind of keep you, up for like the 4 hours or 5 hours, however long after work. And he was like, you can take that as needed. So I was like, okay, that's nice. So he prescribed 20 milligrams of extended release Adderall. And then he also prescribed 10 milligrams of immediate release as like a booster to take, at like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock range, if I need it. So if I feel like I'm getting tired or, just blah, out of focus, something like that. So I did give that a try, and it really helped. Now I don't really take a nap during the workday. I don't really get tired. Like I might get a little tired, and I'll go if my husband's at home or something, I'll go like lay down for maybe 20 minutes. But it's definitely not an everyday thing. I just don't get super tired. I've also been working out more, so that kind of helps like to work out on my lunch instead of like taking a nap. But I'm really happy I've been working out more. But I'm really happy with the progress and like that it's working. So if you are like me and you have like the midday crash, definitely don't be afraid to ask your doctor or prescriber for a change in medication, because I was kind of thinking about switching to Vyvanse, but I was like, well, the Adderall's really working for me. I don't know if I want to switch that, a different medication altogether. I know it's also a stimulant, but I just wasn't sure. So the extended release is definitely working for me. I do take it every day. Like even on the weekends, I take it every day. So getting refills and stuff is a little like annoying because I know with the immediate release, you know, you get 2 pills a day, so 60 pills, I guess, essentially with your prescription, a month's worth, and you know, based on your insurance or whatever. And a lot of times I wouldn't take the second pill, so that uh, that like I was able to kind of like save those extras that, you know, in between like refills. But now it's like I like have to call the pharmacy, like I have to request my doctor to refill it, call the pharmacy and like make sure they got it. And it is kind of annoying, but you know, I'm kind of getting through it, and I'm actually about to go out of town, so that's been kind of a whole thing, like trying to get it before I go out of town, because the refill date is actually really close to when we leave for our trip. So um, I've kind of worked it out now, but I was like, let's get this refill. Um, but I do have extras of the 10 milligram immediate release if I did need it, you know, for whatever reason. I like don't take it on the weekends. I don't think that it's necessary because we're like out doing things, or if we're at home, like we stay kind of chill. And if I am like tired, like I say, I'll go lay down for like 30 minutes or something. And sometimes I don't even sleep. Sometimes I kind of just lay there and like just let my body rest and recharge. And then I get up and I'm ready to go do whatever, you know, we need to go do. So. But that is a little bit of a ADHD medication update for you. It really has helped. It's been working. I'm not as tired as I used to be. I'm still like very focused and like, you know, determined to get things done. I like don't dread chores or, you know, anything like that anymore. Not necessarily, other than like normal, you know, like I don't feel like doing this. Like everyone kind of feels that way every once in a while. But otherwise, I like getting stuff done. I thrive on a checklist. I know with my work, I started making checklists for my different processes and tasks that I need to do daily, and that's been really nice. And I also keep a planner for daily like things to do, and I like keep I cross things off as I do them for the day. And I try not to like over book myself, I guess. Like I try to put like things that absolutely need to get done that day. I was putting like literally everything I wanted to hope to get done that day, but didn't necessarily, and it would kind of like stress me out. So maybe I'll do another video about like planner and how I like plan things out and how a planner has really helped me. I did use a planner before I was diagnosed with ADHD, but now I feel like I just really utilize it and like make the most of it, you know, especially now that I'm taking medication and um, now that I've been diagnosed. And also I do journal, so I may like make a video on journaling. This has just really helped like with like self-discovery and my mental health. Like I really try to journal at least 5 days a week. Sometimes I don't on the weekends, and sometimes through the week I forget. But I definitely try to journal like through the week at least, and just like a page worth or like more. So like this is like 1 day's worth. So sometimes I like a prompt, sometimes I like, you know, just write random things. But that's getting off topic. But journaling has definitely helped too. But if you have experienced anything with your ADHD medication and changes and whatnot, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Definitely let me know. I love hearing about other people's experiences and their journey with mental health and their not education, medication. So feel free to put that in the comments. And I would love it if you would like this video and subscribe, because I will have more videos like this in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys.